welcome back to another edition of Urban Lifestyles. It's a great day. It's actually a cool summer morning, and we're out in Tom Sawyer Park. Getting my parks confused.
Oh, well, yeah, it's just lovely out here, and it's a breeze, and the last 3 days have been wonderful.
It has been. People behind us are playing pickleball, and it's just a great day to be out. Got a great show. Some of the things we're going to be talking about is a segment we did with a young vet who has a mobile vet business.
Yeah.
And you also did a segment with who else?
Also, I did with a vegan restaurant.
And we also have a piece that we did with MSD. Very interesting how they keep the odors out of the sewer systems in your neighborhood. And we've got some other great pieces. So we'll take a quick break and back with more right after this.
Hey.
Hi.
It's time to crack an egg.
Easy, any style egg works here.
Or smile.
Well done. This looks great.
Time to share a
I
story
have a great way to start our discussion.
with old friends or new ones.
When you're a caregiver
Time to breathe in,
hell up, good job.
then let it all out. It's never been easier to connect, learn, and have fun.
Cheers.
So let's do it together. Come find us at aarp.org/near you.
6.5, your man Nick Cannon is in the building and we taking over. We gonna be wildin' every morning. About to have some fun, y'all. Let's go up!
Lock it in to the Nick Cannon Morning Show, 6 to 10 on B.
You know, Denise, we try to eat healthy and we try to make sure we're preparing healthy meals at home. And you got an opportunity to go out to a vegan restaurant. So tell us about that.
But basically, I didn't know all the delectable recipes that are out there and learning the difference between vegan and vegetarian, but let's just take a look. Well, I'm here at another fabulous place. This is dubbed as a breakfast brunch cafe, and it's called Flora Kitchenette. I'm here with the owners, Satra and Wise, and welcome to Urban Lifestyles.
Thank you for having us.
When I see the name Flora, and I notice it's not with an apostrophe S, how did you all come up with the name Flora Kitchenette?
Well, actually, this is the original name. So when we purchased the business from the original owner, we thought it was cool to kind of keep some of that energy because it already had kind of a place in the neighborhood and in the community. So people know Flora Kitchenette as a place to go get treats and have some breakfast and spend some time with friends and family. So we wanted to kind of keep that tradition going on. And it was a place that we enjoyed coming as well. So, yeah.
Now, one thing I have to let everybody know makes this place very special. It is a vegan cafe. And I had to learn the difference between vegan and vegetarian, and which is vegan means
no animal
products at all. Whereas if you're vegetarian, you could take in some eggs or dairy and just like that. Okay, now that means that you all's lifestyle is already vegan, and that's why you came up with this?
Yes. So we've been vegan for over 20 years now. We've raised our family, all of our kids vegan. So this is an integral part of our lifestyle since,
Okay, so for those who want to know, vegan, name off some of your popular food items on you all's menu.
Right now it's the breakfast taco. So we have the classic breakfast taco and the chorizo breakfast taco. And they both have tofu scrambles and roasted potatoes. One has chorizo, which is like a vegan sausage. And the other one has black beans and queso and pico. And then on the chorizo one, we put an avocado crema. Everybody loves that. And the other popular item would be the omelet plate. It's vegan omelet made with just egg, which is made out of mung beans. So.
And what is that? Oh, wow.
Yeah, they make it to be like a fried egg or an omelet, and we kind of put a little magic in there and make it taste real good.
Because I heard it said that you all have a vegan soul food type eatery. So I'm like, how do you make vegan to be tasting like soulful?
Well, when you think about it, the things that are used to season typical soul food are plants. So you're talking about herbs and spices that are used to give it that flavor. And so we use some familiar spices and herbs. We try to use organic as much as possible to keep that health aspect to it. But we season our food very thoroughly. So it has that kick, it has that spice, and it has that soul that you spoke of earlier. And we've even taken some of our own family's recipes and veganized them. So it's been really cool to be able to bring that and pass it along to our local community.
Okay, so I know you had mentioned off camera in regards to like your beverages, your coffee. You were saying how you all sort of partner with Sharp. About that again?
West Lou Coffee. We feature West Lou Coffee. It's a local black-owned coffee roaster here in town. And that's been a great partnership. People have commented that we have some of the best coffee in town, so we take great pride in that. And we serve that fresh every day.
Okay, so what we want to get to is, because you all have me leaning towards becoming vegan now that I know it's healthy. And it's just sometimes it's in my mind, I'm thinking I've had some vegan dishes that didn't taste real good. So,
yeah.
Well, we've had 20 years of feeding our family, and that's a lot of experience and trial and error and experimenting. And we love to eat, so of course our food has to taste good. Right. So that's what we're trying to serve now to the community. But at being artists as well, we want it to look good, and then I want you to leave feeling good too.
So for all those viewing who are now intrigued, let's say one more time. This name of the place is called
the Flora Kitchenette,
and it's located
1004 Barrett Avenue, right here in the middle of the Highlands.
And you all's hours?
8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Thursday through Monday.
When you have all the alternatives like that, and they're all delicious, you have to try it whether you're into vegan or not.
We'll take a quick break and back with more right after this.
At LG&E and KU, we're always working hard to make your life a little easier. Because we know you've got your hands full. Our new mobile app gives you the power to check your account balance, review your payment history, and effortlessly pay your bill from anywhere, while making it easier than ever to report and track power outages. Download the app today to get the convenience of LG&E and KU at your fingertips.
So Denise, you've been busy. Tell us what's going on with MSD.
Sometimes if you have a problem with an odor and it's coming from, you think, the sewer system, you need to take a look at this. So I'm here this morning actually for another great segment, but I find it very important. We're going to do the segment with MSD today, and I have Cheryl Lauder. Cheryl, welcome again.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I love this segment because I always find out something so important and so interesting, again, how MSD serves us. But we're here in a residential area, and there was a homeowner, I believe, called in and had concerns about an odor that was coming from one of the sewer areas. So share about you all's the services that MSD provides in an area like this, and what is the diagnosis and how we're going to remedy it.
Thank you. Well, first off, if anyone ever smells sewer odor or something that you're not quite sure what it is, but it's bad, you should always, your first call should be to MSD 540-6000. That would be 502-540-6000. And that will create a chain of events that happen where we'll come out and investigate. And that's why we're here this morning. One was called into this area, and Jimmy is here to walk us through what he does when he gets here for the odor complaint. But it's concerning a catch basin. And a catch basin is just a grate in the side of the road, usually at the curb, where all the water, when it rains, flows down in there. And what can happen, especially, and now we've just come out of a really hot, dry time, is sometimes these catch basins can just dry out. And there's a P-trap that's down inside there that's very similar to the piping underneath a sink in your house that has that U shape at the bottom.
Right.
And that U shape, if it's got water in it, the sewer gases can't escape. So it's important to have water in that P-trap to keep the smells from coming up into your house. And it functions the same way out here at the side of the roadway. Sometimes Jimmy will just come out here and he'll clean the catch basin, take out debris that's down in there that's maybe decaying, that also can cause odor. And sometimes we'll come back if it doesn't have water in it, and put water in it, and that'll help keep the odors down inside the catch basin. This one today has a little more issues to it, so it's going to take another couple of visits to get that whole thing remedied.
Oh, great. So, Jimmy, can I bring you in? Thank you. Explain your position with MSD.
I am a utility worker at our central maintenance facility, and my job is to take care of customer complaints such as this one, and we do preventative maintenance on the drainage.
Now, Cheryl just explained about the complaint that came in from a resident, and you came out and made a diagnosis, and so where do we go from here upon your discovery?
Yes, ma'am. Whenever I come out to a job like this, the first thing I do is try to find the source of the odor, which, like she said, it could be a low water level where you just got to put, water into it. I always clean them when I can. And on this one, these drains have what's called a maintenance plug. And what that is if we have to do any kind of maintenance on the line or anything, flush the line, we actually have to remove that plug and jet water through it to open it back up so water can flow back through it again.
So it sounds kind of simple.
Sure. Yeah, it's pretty simple. I came out here to this one. The plug is missing, so that's probably where they're getting their odor from, most likely.
So now we're not so simple.
Right. We'll just have to go down there and we'll have to replace that plug. But before we do so, I also noticed that the supporting brickwork is collapsing in. So it's an odor basin. So these things happen. I'll have to come out here and I'm going to call it in. I'm going to have to have a plate set for public safety because I don't want people driving on this thing if it's going to collapse. And then we'll send a crew out. They'll make the repair. They'll put the brickwork back in, re-secure it, and then after that, when it's safe to, we're going to send a guy down and he'll put that plug back in, which should eliminate their odor.
Now, do you run into a lot of issues like this in residential areas?
As far as?
Somebody calling in and complaining about odor, for instance.
Yeah, we do run across it more so in the summertime than the winter. Like Cheryl said, during high temperatures, low rain, that's usually when we get the most amount of calls because organic matter, leaves, grass, debris, anything that gets down in there, like she said, starts decaying, and that will produce an odor. And then if the water level drops too far, where that P-trap is exposed, you'll start getting sewer gases. We got to put water back in.
Oh, wow.
We also put in deodorizers.
Oh.
And then we actually have pelletized deodorizers that we can put on top too, so that any gases that do come out, it'll help with that.
Again, we never appreciate all the work that MSD does, but this is just another example of how they're keeping things going.
And serving our community.
You're correct. We'll take another break and back with more right after this.
Hello, Max and Denise. Today we're going to talk about the loan fund. We created the loan fund to create jobs and to stimulate economic development in communities that have not always had access to capital. As a bank, Republic Bank, we recognize that entrepreneurs and small business owners haven't always had access to capital, and growing a business without capital is extremely difficult. We've made the process very simple. It's a one-page application. Rather than asking for 3 years tax returns and 3 years financial statements, we're simply asking for 2 years tax returns for the business, 2 years tax returns for the owner of the business. It's just that simple. Flexible terms are being offered and low interest rates. Terms go out to 60 months. Loan proceeds can be used for working capital, inventory, equipment purchases, a vehicle purchase. A line of credit can also be used with the loan proceeds. We're encouraging anyone who has a business or looking to start a business to reach out to us at republicbank.com or go into one of our banking centers and speak with one of our friendly bankers. Thank you. Max and Denise, back to you.
When I'm thinking of doctors on wheels, I'm never thinking about veterinarians. How about you?
I'm not either, but fur babies are dear and near to our hearts. But here's a young man that's a veterinarian in our community. Take a look. This is a good segment for me today because it involves animals. I am a dog lover, and this is my grand dog, Dro, although Max doesn't claim him as such. But I do like today's segment because it's about the convenience. In this case, we do know that there are services like mobile services that comes out to groom your dogs and cats. But today we want to talk about house calls when the doctor comes to visit. And I am here to introduce you to a wonderful veterinarian. His name is Dr. Isaac Crudep. He is with the business called, to make sure the ad vet cat. And Dr. Crudep, welcome to Urban Lifestylez.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today.
I was so delighted to find out that you was here. I did not know that we had any vets and any African-American veterinarians here, and especially to come out and make house calls. So explain to the audience about, I know you went to school with our youngest daughter, but bring us up to date to how you began this journey and what was the springboard for you.
Okay. So ultimately, well, backstory, before I decided to even be a veterinarian, I was actually petrified of animals. I had a couple experiences where I was chased by dogs. If I had friends that had dogs, they had to put the dogs up because I just could not get over this fear factor of animals. And something happened, I guess, it was, growing pains, but I got over it. And ultimately, I am a native of Louisville. And so when I began that interest in dogs and starting to actually appreciate them versus being scared, I asked my mother, I was like, hey, can I get a dog? And, the answer was, well, we don't have a fenced-in backyard. Are you going to take care of, the common questions you get as a child when you want to get a dog. And then lo and behold, a couple years later, we moved down the street, had a fenced-in backyard. I want to say I was probably about 11 or 12 when I got my first dog, Tyson, who was a black lab. That moment, let me know that I definitely wanted to be a veterinarian. So, through the years, I went to Barrett Middle School and then I transitioned over to Mill. And so I followed through the academia and then got accepted into Tuskegee University. And so for you all don't know, Tuskegee is very prestigious and has a lot of history. And they also have the only minority vet school ever. And so ultimately, I went through undergrad and went through the vet school program pretty much, back to back. And so after I graduated, I did some traveling, did some work in various hospitals, and the good Lord has led me back here to my home city, full circle, so that I could look at treating and caring for animals in the comfort of their own home. So I'm all about convenience. I think other people are too. Because it can be difficult to schedule appointments to get your dogs in, have to worry about dog hair and dog slobber in your car. If your dogs are large, have to worry about loading a 150-pound dog up into the car, take them to the vet. Then you also have to worry about anxiety and things of those nature, in addition to human anxiety of just having to bring your pet to the vet. And so ultimately, I figured out, how can I be of assistance to my community? And so I, put a plan together and realized that, I can make it easier for people just for me to come to their home, old school, and just treat their pet right then and there. Nobody knew there was going to be a pandemic, so things just kind of worked out the way they did. And here I am.
So now you would be considered like a general practitioner versus internist or a specialist?
Yes. So pretty much I'm GP. So you see me for your vaccines, small infections, some internal medicine. But if I can't fix it, then I call on my counterparts and my colleagues to help assist in that manner. So they do have internists, like internal medicine. They do have radiologists. They have orthopedic surgeons. They have neurologists, they have oncologists. So everything that human medicine has, vet medicine has as well too. A lot of people don't know that. So it's good to have, that access to be able to provide additional services if it is outside of what I can do.
So basically, you made a discovery about our beloved Dro, because he's up in age, he's 14. What are your hours like for making the house calls. Because one thing I loved is Dro didn't go through the regular anxiety of putting on the brakes, whining, staying up underneath your legs. As soon as you open, it's something about he could sense when you go to a vet office. Having you come here, he's just ease, and I love that.
Well, right now my hours are Thursday through Saturday, currently 8 to 6 Thursday and Friday, and 8 to 3 on Saturday. All my information is on my website, theadvocate.com.
Spell that, please.
So it's THEADVET, play on words, CATE.com.
Advocate, but you advocate for dogs.
And it's crazy how I came up with it. I think I was walking my dog one day, and that's one of those things I do for therapy, just to think and decompress. And I was trying to figure out a name for what I wanted to call my business. And so, I kept on playing around with words, had a couple of thoughts, didn't really flow the way I wanted it to. And then, I came upon the word advocate, and I was just like, well, shoot, when people say the word advocate, that means they fend for what they believe in. And so then I was like, well, shoot, let me put that VET in there instead of the VOC. And now I got play on words, and now you got the vet and the advocate, because I am an advocate for animals. So I fend for them, I help them the best way I know how, and that's just how I came about it.
He's Tyler's friend. He's a vet. He does great work. And I just think it's really unique, the concept that he's put together.
And the main thing I like about it is with Dro, as soon as we hit the vet office, he starts freezing up. And with Dr. Crudep coming to the home and treating your animal that way, it keeps them in their environment. It keeps down the anxiety, and it gives you that personal care.
You are correct. We'll take another break and back with more.
Fort. I'm a legal administrative assistant here at the water company, and I've been here for 5 years. Well, I chose a career here by chance. I actually started as a temporary worker, but the reason that I stayed became pretty clear quickly. I was offered a lot of opportunities for advancement, and that really made a big impact on me, and I decided to stay and really take advantage of the things that were offered to me. It feels really good to be a part of the makeup of part of the city of Louisville in response, of course, to the pandemic, being able to help customers, being a part of a program called Drops of Kindness, where we were able to help customers with their water bills during this pandemic. You really get to see how water is an essential thing, and it touches everyone's lives. And you walk away feeling really good that you were able to help someone. I am excited about the possibility of getting back to the office. I believe everyone is. It's been over a year and a half being away from the office, and I know the executive leadership team here is really working to make sure that everyone has a great time when they come back into the office and really get that camaraderie back. Something I do outside of Louisville Water to relax, I love to work out, I love to exercise, so I'm part of a CrossFit gym, and that's something that I like to do. I love to strength train and weight lift. If someone wanted to work at Louisville Water Company, I would definitely tell them to take advantage of the opportunity. They offer great benefits, competitive pay, and many opportunities for advancement.
We're in the midst of summer. We're riding more and more, and here's another great tip from Middle of Town Cycling. We're back again at Middle of Town Cycling, which is on Bardstown Road at the Waterson Expressway, right behind the bakery. You can't miss it, so you can go grab some pastries and then come around here and find whatever you need, either a bike or bike accessories. So, it used to be very fashionable to have a lock on your bike because it was safe, but then I started riding with people and it was like, it's not cool. You can't have a lock on your bike, and people would dog you out, but now locks are making a comeback, Nira, and I'm here with Nira over here at Middle of Town Cycling. So tell us, why the resurgence in locks?
Well, as we all know, bikes are getting nicer and cooler and more expensive. And it's an easy way to make some quick money if you can get one for free. So one of the things we recommend that somebody buys from us once they buy a bike from us is to get a lock to keep the bike safe. We've had so many instances where customers have just put their bike out with a lock, just the bike out, thinking that, oh, they'll just run into a store and grab something, and the next thing you know, the bike is gone. And it may not look cool, but it's very effective to have one.
And when I'm looking here, I'm seeing a lot of different types of locks. So of course we've got the ones that are color coordinated with your bikes if you just want to be fashionable, and then some that look like they're more heavy duty. So for the weekend warrior who's getting out, what's your recommendation?
So they come in come in several different kind of options based on what your needs are. So something like this is extremely basic, comes with a combination lock. You do not have to worry about keeping a key on you or losing a key. So these are basic. They're only like 4 or 5 feet long. You may want to use this to tie it around the rear wheel and the frame of the bike and to something that the bike is being put on. So then there is something like this, where it's a longer cable, but it's also a thicker gauge. So even if somebody is trying to cut it, it's going to be a deterrent because it's not as easy to cut this as compared to something like this. This particular one comes with keys. So if you are the kind of person that forgets your combo, then keys is good because you just keep them on, your keychain, with your house keys or something like that. Then we get into something called the U-locks. So this is more of a combination between this and this, because this has a metal lock that you attach to the rear frame and the rear triangle and the rear wheel, and then you take the excess cable and wrap it around the front wheel. That way nobody just seals the front wheel even though your bike is attached to the rack. Then we come on to something like this, actually. These are pretty impressive. Most of these here are not either, if they're not as durable or easy to crack into, they're lightweight, you can carry them. Or if they're extremely heavy and durable, then they're extremely difficult to carry around when you're riding. These are great in between. They fold, so they can be longer, they're easier to carry, and they're not as difficult to carry around.
So
and they
how
fold.
do you put this on your bike? Does it have some type of something that mounts to you?
Unit, and you can just mount it to your, or if you carry like a backpack or something like that, you just put it in your backpack.
Well, one thing that we would be remiss if we didn't talk about is getting your COVID shot. This new variant that's coming back out is no joke. So be smart, get protected, get vaccinated.
Amen.
You know what? I think that's our show.
And that's our time.
And we'll see you back here next time on Urban Lifestyles.
Bye. Stay safe.